All right, divas, put your hand on your heart and you say, it's my time and I'm ready for the next step. I love this mantra. This is a Denise Duffield Thomas thing if you don't already recognize it, but put your hand on your heart. It's my time and I'm ready for the next step. What the heck is the next step, right? So when we fill that in after we say I'm ready for the next step, what does that mean? Right? How do I know that I'm ready for the next step? How do I know that I'm ready for the next level? And that's what we're talking about in this Fri-YAY. So happy Fri-YAY, everybody. And how do I know that I'm ready for the next level? I like to think of this as, am I being pushed or am I being pulled? So are you feeling pushed from where you are right now into what's next? Or are you feeling pulled or feeling called to what's next? So I want you to think about that for yourself. When you say, I'm ready for the next step, what springs to mind? What do you like see? What do you visualize in your brain? And is it getting away from what you're doing right now? Or is it what's coming up next? And and that might sound a little vague, but I think that if you do this, you know what I mean. And I want you to think about when I'm visualizing or when I'm saying what's the next level, does it look like something specific or is it in antithesis to something that you're experiencing? And it can be both. It doesn't matter. It's like not one is better than the other or whatever, but it's important to know. So if it's antithesis and you're saying I am being pushed away from something else, that's okay. Check in with that and say, what is actually happening here? What is it that I'm feeling pushed away from? Am I feeling pushed because I don't want to get too specific with anybody's situations. Like, we all feel these things. So maybe I'll take my own for example. And um, when I was teaching at the collegiate level and saying, do I feel like pushed from this because, oh, the grading is not the way that I want it to be, or I'm teaching these courses that I don't really feel aligned to, something like that, right? So I'm feeling pushed, right? But that's what I'm saying is identify inside there what is it? Oh, well, it's this specific activity that I don't that is not aligned with my process, or these courses aren't the right thing for me. This is not where I want to spend my time. This is not where I want to spend my scholarship. And or I was feeling pulled at the same time when I was ready to leave academia and I said, "Okay, I'm feeling pulled because I love teaching one-on-one lessons, but I'm feeling pulled to make a bigger impact. I'm feeling pulled to do work that impacts more people, per activity than what I'm able to do one-on-one in the studio, as remarkable and powerful as that can be." So I love that, and I get to retain some of that with my coaching clients, right? It's another form of getting to work together and teach and doing these things that I really care about. I don't get to do, vocal technique as much anymore. like, and I don't get to do I don't get to assign, you know, like Schubert songs as much as I did, but I can go back to those songs and I can feel pulled to those. But what I did feel was I felt called, I felt pulled to something. And when I thought about what that looked like, I said, oh, that's starting to take shape and I can move in that direction. So when I was leaving academia, I thought, I'm feeling pulled towards work that has an impact on more people in my field. And I'm also feeling pulled towards being able to do that wherever I go with singing work. So I want to be able to be physically present in the space for singing. That's what I want. For performing is I want to be physically present in the space for that. And the work that I do in addition to that, I want that to be able to go with me wherever. So that starts to take shape and I go, what's the next level? Okay. This might look like a lot of things. I'm just giving you some examples of kind of milestones of my own experience, and yours are going to look like yours. And so the next level might be creating more work. It might be coming out with like more, new compositions, new albums. It might be performing in different size spaces. It might be working with different collaborators, working with doing higher risk, higher reward projects, right? This can look like anything. But the idea is, am I being pushed away from something that I don't like? Am I being pulled towards something that is aligned with my goals? let's come back to this for a second. Little pin here. If you have not watched the Fri-YAY about the 20-year goal exercise, or it might be a Fri-YAY, there's a podcast episode on Studio Class for sure. If you have not done your goal setting at a deeper level to know what you are hoping for in the future, like what you're really aligned to, do that first. Then that helps make everything so much clearer when you're choosing, is it the right time to try and move to whatever the next level is for me? And that can look like a lot of things, right? Uh, maybe that looks like a more highly produced project or product or performance or whatever it is. Okay. Maybe that looks like working with different collaborators. Maybe that looks like bringing people onto your team, right? It can look like a ton of things, but I can't tell you what it is. You have to know for yourself by doing some deep work and saying like, what are my real goals? What is it that I want to experience that is so specific to me, so specific to this life that I'm leading, that that I can that I become so much clearer on what I'm being pulled towards rather than what I'm being pushed away from. And that also helps you identify maybe what the feeling is that when you're being pushed, you go, oh, it's this thing that I don't feel like, oh, that doesn't quite go with what I want to do. Maybe I want to work on these types of pieces. Maybe I want to write for these kinds of ensembles. Maybe I want to, you know, paint or dance or whatever it is. Like I don't know. That's for you to decide. so, so as you're trying to distinguish this, you go, what are my goals? Am I being pulled towards that right now? What does it look like? Am I so clear on what it looks like that it feels very natural to move into the next level? Am I being pushed because something just doesn't feel right, but I don't know what the next thing is? That's where I want you to dig in. If you're feeling pushed and you're like, this is not right. I feel like I'm ready for the next thing, but I don't know what it is. Sit down, take some meditation time and be like, what is the next step, right? Go back, put your hand on your heart and say, it's my time and I'm ready for the next step. And then take that step. That's really what I want you to do. As you're trying to identify the next level, opportunities will come into your life. The opportunities present themselves. There's lots of like choices that you can make, right? Things, you'll become aware of things. Also, if you're ready for something, you'll go looking for it. You'll say like, man, I really want to work with this kind of ensemble. And then you're going to just start like researching those kinds of ensembles. And then you find one that you really like and you go, maybe I want to work with them. Send the person an email and say like, hey, I'd love to have a conversation about this sometime. Like I really like the work that you do, right? Take that next step. And if it doesn't go anywhere from that one, that's okay, right? You took a step. Then you're going to keep taking more steps. All of that is part of that next level, right? So that's what I want you to do, divas, is look inside yourselves. Am I being pushed or am I being pulled? Am I so clear on my goals that it's starting to take this like visual form in my imagination, what it looks like next? And saying like, oh my God, I'm so obsessed with this thing that I want that I can start to see what it looks like, right? And you don't have to go looking around asking people like, what is it that I'm supposed to do next? Say like, what is it that I want? What am I looking to do? And then say, okay, and then maybe you have to like, maybe you get more information, right? From people when you're like, how do you do that thing? That's great. But what am I doing? What do I want? That's an inside job, baby. So start there and then ask around and like get more information, get people on your team, right? Find out, how do I take this step? How do I make this step easy? What is the easiest way to move into this next phase? So divas, that's for you. I hope that you're having a beautiful, beautiful Fri-YAY. There's lots of yay in your day today. And yeah, find me. If you want to coach with me, if you want to talk more about these things, you know how to get a hold of me. You can check out all my coaching stuff at meganihnen.com. IHNEN, if you're not sure. and, and yeah, so divas, as always, stay sparkly inside and out. Until next time.